What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Action Network podcast. I am your host, Chris Raybon. This is our NFL Week 1 betting preview for 2025. Today, we're going to talk about sides, totals, moneyline underdog, parlays, added a new segment, anytime touchdown parlay as well. And of course, we're going to build our Sunday six-pack of best bets. We're going to do it with none other and the help of my co-host, the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, Stuckey, for the 7th consecutive season. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. It's good to be back. Let's have a season, baby. I'm so excited to just look Thursday night, Friday night, but then especially Sunday when we get just a full slate of games again. I cannot wait. I am chomping at the bit to get this season started. So let's roll, baby.
Yeah, I won't delay you betting on the Titans any longer. We're going to jump right into the six packs. I just want to make a couple of updates for the show this season. We're not going to do Thursday night football because that just kind of drags things out. We're going to jump right into the six pack. Same thing, best of the rest at the end. We're just going to spend the time on the bets we love and try to give you guys more content for the bets that we're actually betting and try to trim the fat. And also, this season, the Action Network podcast will have a new episode out every Friday morning. It'll be me. It'll be Sean Kerner. And we're going to be talking more anytime touchdown scorers. So if you like betting touchdown, please check out those new episodes as well, starting this Friday. Had some real good success last postseason with that. So excited to be back on that. But we're jumping right into it. Week 1, Sunday six-pack, 2025. If you're new to the show, we score it. Stuck. What is it? It's 2 for our first 2, and then 1 for our third now.
Yep,
Is that how we're doing? Yep. And then a point for our total. You sweep them, you get an extra point. So we'll keep score. Got the edge last year, probably just because of the Titans stuff. But so I'll kick us off for my first pick of the 2025 Sunday six pack. I'm going with the New York Giants +6 at the Washington Commanders. 3 reasons I like the Giants in this spot. Number 1, you look at these matchups last season, Washington won by 3 and Washington won by 5. 3 touchdowns to Russ in Washington's game against them as well. So you also have that. And now I think Washington could stumble a little bit on offense. I think both of these teams are improved, but the second thing is the Giants, they added Abdul Carter, they added Adebo, they added Holland at safety. They got pretty good players at every level of that defense, but Washington has not practiced as a unit on offense. And remember, they've added new pieces on the line. They've added new pieces at wide receiver with Debo and Lane. They've kind of remade their running back room a little bit as well. So that could come back to bite them, especially early in the season. And then there is going to be some natural regression with the Commanders. They had a historic season in terms of conversion rate on 3rd and 4th downs. Jaden Daniels, though, on early downs, his numbers were just average 20th in success rate. So I do think there's going to be some natural regression, even if I think it's lazy analysis. People are kind of saying, oh, Jaden Daniels might follow that Stroud arc. I mean, he could, but I think that's just kind of lazy. But I do think just naturally you'll see kind of a little bit of a comeback down to earth for him. And week 1, it's time to bet dogs, baby. Week 1 divisional underdog, 67 and 44, 60% against the spread over the past 2 decades. That is courtesy of Action Labs. So my first pick is the G-Men.
Yeah, I might need 7 here to get involved. It's funny. I'm the fader of Washington. I'm fading Washington week 1. So I might look live. I might get involved at 6, but I don't show too much value. I mean, the Commanders, I think that they're going to have a rougher season than many think. There's been 8 hype teams, that went from like 100 since 2015. They went from like 150 to 1 to win the Super Bowl the year prior to under 20 to 1. 6 of those 8 that year finished under 500. I'm curious. There's a couple matchups I'm curious to watch here. Neighbors, who ate up Washington last year. What does Lattimore? Lattimore, I think, is the key to that Washington defense. And who's that second corner for the Giants? Is it Flott? Is it Banks? There's a reason Banks aren't open on Sundays. I think they'd be better served going with Flott. And then what does Debo have left in the tank? But you're right. Road divisional dogs also above a field goal, 60% week one. If I had to bet it, I'd side with your Giants, but I wish I would have grabbed that number earlier. I know that you did got some 7+, but so lean that way, but haven't quite got there myself.
I'm ashamed of you, Stuck. Like this is everything you love about a play. It's the G-Man, you're the G-Man Undertaker. It's the Fade Cliff. It's the week one dogs. Like you gotta come on, man. You gotta join me. I'm betting it again at 6. I'm betting I'm under 5 with this one. I just think there's too many question marks early in the year for Washington. But where are you going? What's your first pick?
Good to see you coming around on my Washington takes. All right, for my first pick of the week one Sunday 6-pack, I'm going with my Green Bay Packers -2.5 at home against the Detroit Lions. If you want to go into trends, both teams, you can make a case for both teams. Dan Campbell's 11-3 against the spread in September. Goff is 8-0 against the spread in week one. But LaFleur is 15-3 against the spread the first 3 games of the year, including 7-0 against the spread at home. Over the first 3 games of the season since 2019, he has been the most profitable coach in the NFL. So you can make a case trend-wise for both teams. Should be an excellent game. But I have to put my money where my mouth is. I'm selling the Lions. I'm buying the Packers. I have the Packers at home, laying under a field goal in game one. And there's other reasons why I'm willing to go there. Number one, I have the Packers power rated ahead of the Lions coming into the season. And there's no questions with their coordinators. There's no questions with the interior of the offensive line for Detroit. Now it's going to have basically 3 new positions up front. Interior pressure, talked about this all offseason. Interior pressure against Goff, not good. And by the way, they added Micah Parsons. That was like kind of their one weak link. We'll see if he can go. I assume he's going to be able to with his back issue. But that was kind of the one area where they had to address. I talked about it. I said, hey, on our preview pod, there's a sneaky suspicion it's going to happen. And it did. Curious to see how the corners come together for Green Bay with Hobbs. And I think they'd be better served going with him in the slot. It looks like they really want to have Bullock there. So, yeah, you might see they're going to attack the slot, which is a little bit of a concern of mine. But the new coordinators, Goff with potentially interior pressure, and this Green Bay team just primed for a huge bounce back this year. I'm riding with Green Bay, who did go 0-2 against Detroit last year. But the Lions in those 2 games, one of them, Love, was hurt, went 6 of 7 on 4th down, scored 4 touchdowns on those 6 4th down conversions, and both games were still close. By the way, there was no Hutch or Parsons in either one of those games, so that's worth noting. And then the Lions are also more banged up. Like there's no Ali McNeil here. They lost one of their other better defensive tackles for the year, Josh Pascal, one of their depth rush pieces. Some of their offensive linemen have been dinged up, so they're a little bit more banged up. I'm trusting this Green Bay team that I'm all in on this year, and a Lions team that I think takes a step back with some coordinator uncertainty. And I think this is Green Bay's game. Give me the Pack. Go, Pack, go.
Yeah, I'm glad you and I had that conversation. I hope everyone got to listen to that preview pod, because we were talking about Packers Super Bowl tickets right then and there, and you mentioned that they could make a big move. So I went and grabbed it, and like it's like half now. It's like
25-1 to 12-1.
Right. So that was valuable. Talking through the Giants situation as well. I got them at 7.5. So definitely some good early leans there. But I agree. And I think the Packers are onto something. I think this is a team that's on the brink, and they're starting to do the one thing that kind of always plagued them, which is be aggressive in the front office.
Yeah.
Going out drafting wide receivers. And then I'm cautiously optimistic about the corner situation, only because I see what they're trying to do. We always talk about what's the future of the NFL, positional versatility, right?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Yeah,
exactly. So why not get ahead of it? It's not like Jair Alexander was just a figment of our imaginations. Anyway, I know he's on your Ravens, so hopefully he does well. But for the Packers, he played 7 games last year. So this Parsons move could be just massive for them, because they were a great defense in first year of Halfley, and they did not really have a pass rush. Now you're not going to be able to double team Rashawn Gary. You mentioned it, the Lions having some issues on the line, and people talk about the Hutch rule and how good he's been in practice. But another way to look at it is the Lions offense probably wouldn't have even been able to get into their plays against pressure. So like that's kind of concerning, because now you're going to go up against a formidable pass rush in week one. So, and you're not going to have a hutch rule. It's just going to be Jared Goff on the grass. So, yeah, I like the Packers both in this spot and over the course of the year. All right. For my second pick and the third overall of the week one 2025 Sunday six pack, I'm rolling with the Atlanta Falcons plus 2.5 at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number one, Tampa Bay is just not in peak form right now. They
nowhere close.
Nowhere close. On offense, their left tackle Tristan Wirfs out. Chris Godwin out. Jalen McMillan out. So yes, you got Emeka Egbuka, clutch draft pick by Jason Light, who does a great job. But
Cade Otton also might not go.
Yeah, Cade Otton,
but he's questionable.
Injured on the injury report. Seems like he'll probably go, but not ideal to be banged up. Same thing for Rachaad White. And this is going to be now your first game post Liam Cohen, and we talk him up a lot. So there could be some fall off here, especially because he got so much out of a very similar personnel grouping on that offensive line. So you could see them take a step back even in the run game because he really got a lot of buy-in from them last year. And then I think Atlanta, every year we're kind of hoping they finally put it together on defense. We're not going to bang our heads against the wall. That would just be crazy. But it's week one. This could be a buy low spot on their defense. They did go out and add some edge rushers, some youth, importantly too, in the first round with Pearson Walker. They took a shot on Floyd in free agency, and then addressed the secondary. In
it looks like a couple rookies could start in the secondary.
Yeah, so there's going to be a few rookie starters at positions of need for them. So there is at least the potential for this defense to be better because it's been so bad. And then you flip it over. Okay, well, Tampa Bay, Atlanta's adding youth. Tampa Bay is aging on defense now. It's been a decent defense, but with Vontae David's a year older, you went out and got Hassan Reddick, who was just bad last year. So I don't know if that's going to be able to take advantage of the McGarry absence for the Falcons there. And I think this Falcon team, they played really well against the Bucs defense last year. Now, granted, it was Kirk Cousins, but they won both games, 36-30 in overtime and a comeback, and then 31-26 a few weeks later. And against a banged-up Bucs squad, which is kind of the form the Bucs are in currently. So that was when the Bucs really showed slippage in that middle part of the year where, yeah, they were still able to do some things on offense. Now Liam Cohen's gone, so that's even up in the air. But that's really where the Bucs were most vulnerable. So you're kind of back in that same situation. And week one, divisional, home underdogs, 64% against the spread over the past 2 decades. So give me the Falcons plus 2.5. This is one of those lines that could look. I mean, you're essentially saying the Bucs are in a whole different stratosphere than Atlanta. I don't think there's that much separation. So I think there should be a lot closer to a pick 'em.
Yeah, the Falcons' home field advantage has not been great since 2018. Them and the Saints are falling off there. Saints haven't had a winning season against the spread since 2018, which is surprising. You think of them as like a big home field advantage. There's still tickets out there down there for New Orleans home opener. It's kind of sad what's happened to that crowd. But Atlanta doesn't have the best crowd, best home field advantage, and it's a divisional game. But yeah, this is assuming that the Bucs are like a field goal slightly more than better than the Falcons. These two teams were not that far apart last year, and it's with Cousins giving away a couple games. And I think that the Falcons have improved their defense, and the Bucs aren't fully healthy. The biggest thing in this game, and I don't know, I think there's probably going to be a huge play, one way or the other. Both blindside tackles, who are one of the best in the NFL at their position, are out. For the Falcons, it's right tackle Caleb McGarry. He's one of the best right tackles in the NFL. He's being replaced. It was going to be Storm Norton. He's hurt. Who cares? You don't want Storm Norton in there. It's going to be Elijah Wilkinson. It's bad. Left tackle, probably the best in the NFL. Tristan Wirfs, he's out. It's going to be Charlie Heck. That's bad. So, and Penix is left-handed, so it's his blind side, and then Mayfield's right side. It's probably going to be a big play, someone blowing up off the edge that swings this game. But yeah, this would have been one of mine. I had to take the 2.5. I think this is more of a coin flip. And one thing that I thought here, my first thought when I bet this, because I said, should I wait for 3? I said, nah, 3's never coming. Maybe it will, but I don't think it will. And I said the Falcons always play 1 and 2 point games, right? Like it feels like all their games are decided by 2 points. And I went back and looked over the last 3 seasons, 15.5% of their games have been decided by 1 or 2 points. I think the average is probably like 8, 9%, somewhere around there. Um, so for some reason, it's just random. But
It's a Young Wei Koo tweet. This
yeah.
is about.
By the way, speaking of goals, the Bucks last year didn't miss a field goal. Everyone was missing field goals against them. No one missed a field goal against the Falcons, and Koo was hurt, and their field goal kicking was not as good. That could flip this year. So yeah, and it looks like Mooney's a go, right? 'Cause that's important because the depth for the Falcons.
Yeah, it does look like it. Interestingly enough, I mean, Falcons, I will give them credit. The Bucks too. They're both similar in the sense that they are good at developing like their practice squad wide receivers. You know, the Bucks seem to always have like five extra guys. Falcons kind of the same way. Even if Mooney's out, I actually like their, Blair and Drummond, I think, and Sills is on the roster, and Washington. Like I think they'll be okay, but yeah, Mooney would be
I would rather
a
have
big
him.
lift. I mean, yes, but it's not as dire as it could be for some teams. Is what I'm saying. If he is out, but yeah, it looks like he's gone.
But I'm with you here.
Yeah.
Falcons plus 2.5. All right, for my second
Wait, we got to go pro read. Okay. And by the way, the reason that home field advantage, Falcons, Saints, probably dwindling, I would say, in my opinion, the two worst looking stadiums when you're watching it on TV, they just look dark. I don't know what it is, but they just look dark, and it's just not a problem anywhere else. So very odd. But all right, stage is set for NFL Week 1. All the bets that come with it, and now is the perfect time to upgrade to an Action Pro subscription. It's the only way to get real-time pick alerts from myself, Stuck, NFL prop master Sean Kerner, the odds maker, and our entire team of experts, plus all of the tools that you need to turn a profit betting this season, every season. Right now, new subscribers can get $20 off a year of Action Pro by visiting actionnetwork.com/pro and using code POD20, that's POD20, for $20 off for the full year. So you'll be covered for the entire NFL season, college football, March Madness, MLB, baseball, the NBA, of course. So don't wait. Visit actionnetwork.com/pro and use code POD20, that's POD20, to get $20 off a year of Action Pro. All right, Stuck. Now you can go ahead. Who you got for your second pick in the fourth overall?
Yeah, for my second pick and the fourth overall of the Week 1 Sunday six pack, I'm going with another divisional home dog. Last year was the year the road favorites, went 80-28 straight up. There was some things with like fourth down aggressiveness, but I looked into it a lot. There's no reason why I should be afraid of fading a team like the Bengals, laying 5.5 on the road in Week 1 against a divisional opponent. Their defense, like you're asking this Bengals team to win with margin by 7+ essentially, and I don't trust their defense to do that. So I'm taking the Browns here. You mentioned some of the numbers. I mean, Week 1 divisional home dogs, 23-7 against the spread since 2010, 10-2 since 2018, 18-4 since 2012. And the Bengals historically have gotten off to slow starts. Now Burrow he wasn't dealing with an injury and he got a little bit more work than usual, so maybe that won't be an issue. But he's 1-9 straight up, 3-7 against the spread in his first 2 games. Taylor is 5-7 straight up as a favorite in September. That's with Dalton and Burrow. So there's some history here that says there might be a chance that the Bengals start slow. But I ultimately just don't trust their defense. There's still some issues along that offensive line. Like they're rolling with Patrick at guard. The guards leave a lot to be desired. And this Browns defense, the one thing they can do is they can get pressure. And Burrow has struggled against this Browns defense throughout his career. Newsom's going to move to the outside with the injury to Emerson. We'll see if he can have a bounce back season, contract year. Ward will be on the other side. Curious to see, like, the slot position scares me a bit with most likely Mitchell. But this defense can still get pressure. Ward can hold his own when he's matched up with Chase. And I think that this Browns offense, it's going to be the Stefanski look. This is going to be everything you'd expect, the whole kitchen sink. And it's the Bengals defense. Like anyone can move the ball against them. So I have to take the points here with the Browns at home, Week 1. You have the best option at quarterback under center and Flacco. Like, just block Hendrickson. I know they brought in Al Golden. I look at the cards he was dealt. I'm not sure how much he can do. Give me the Browns here. I think they're super live to pull off the upset. I think this will be close. And even if they're down like 10 late against this Bengals defense, like, very good chance they go right down the field, get a backdoor touchdown. But I think this will be close throughout. This Browns defense will show up. I think their secondary is going to bounce back this year. They pretty much quit last year, just given the quarterback situation. So that might happen again. We don't know where things are headed, but new season, new optimism, in-state rival, division rival, home opener. I think taking the points here is the move. So give me the Cleveland Browns.
Couple things here. Number one, I like the case you just made because I did bet this again on when we were doing our preview pod, and I was kind of getting ready to get out of my position. So I'm glad you kind of talked me off the ledge there. But I do think the Bengals making a concerted effort, Burrow making a concerted effort to kind of get some preseason work in is gonna help a little bit. But I am worried about the Browns. I just think we're a little too comfortable with this clown show. Like, that is like, it's Joe It's a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. Their tackle is terrible. They have guys like Gage Larvadain probably getting meaningful reps at receiver. They hate all their running backs. They obviously are drafting for fit because they passed up on Henderson to get Judkins, and then they go and claim Rocket Sanders. They just wanted Deontay Foreman or something. Like, I don't know what it is with them. So I don't know if this is all going to work, but you're right. The Bengals defense, even with Hendrickson, is still exploitable. I do worry about Flacco though. So I'm not long on the Browns, but this is the time. This is the time to do it. So I'm gonna hold tight.
Harold Fannin, anytime touchdown, baby.
Oh man, it's funny though because people did say, why are you betting it so early? And I got a 6. I don't know if the 6 is coming back necessarily.
I would wait though. It's 5.5.
Yeah.
Bengals
You should wait.
Play. It's in the dead zone. Doesn't matter for the contest because pushes or losses, but wait to see if it's 6. But I think this is a field goal game.
All right. Third pick, 5th overall of the week. Number 1, 2025 Sunday 6-pack. The Jacksonville Liam Cones -3.5. The Jacksonville Jaguars -3.5 at home against the Panthers. And this is one where, back when lines first dropped, I ended up betting the Jaguars team total over. Didn't necessarily want to touch the spread. But I think the developments over the past few days have really kind of put this toward a Jacksonville edge here, even though Carolina's getting the hook. Now, first thing is, I think there's 3 things. Number 1, Bryce Young was improved down the stretch. That's obviously the most important thing for the Panthers. But what was that driven by? Wide receiver and offensive line. Wide receivers, as in Adam Thielen, got back healthy and was very productive. And Jalen Coker had a little mini breakout down the stretch as well. Well, they traded Adam Thielen, and Jalen Coker got hurt, I think, like the day after. So now he's on IR. He's out for this game. Bryce Young targeting Thielen and Coker last year, 71 of 96, 976 yards, 6.3% touchdown rate, 10.2 yards an attempt, 74% completions. Very good. To everyone else, the completion rate drops 12%. The yards per attempt gets cut in half, 5.4, and the touchdown rate gets cut in half to 3%. So this could be catastrophic. It's kind of flying under the radar a little bit because, Thielen's just an old slot receiver and Coker, it just has a cool name. But this is not good for the Panthers offense, especially with Ike Ekwonu, their left tackle, might be the wrong side of questionable. We'll see. But yeah, appendix issue. And then the right guard, Damian Lewis, should play, but he's banged up with a shoulder, which, not great for an interior lineman either. So not because the Panthers O-line is a strength, and that really helped Young. And it might not be a strength in week 1. And that is very good news for the Jaguars because what do they need to win with margin? They need a team that's not just going to bow over them, their defense, because I think their defense is still going to be shaky. Probably can't be worse than last year, but it's not going to be great right off the bat. However, we know Liam Cohen improved this team, the Tampa Bay squad last year by 9 points. And Carolina, was the worst defense in the NFL last year by DVOA. Carolina still has many of the same issues. Derek Brown is not going to fix everything. J.C. Horn has still been kind of in and out of practice. Josie Jewell, linebacker, he's out again. So there's the same issues. They did add some pieces, some young pieces. I think it's going to take time, but Derek Brown's not going to be a cure-all for the worst defense in the league. So I think this is a situation where the Jags, it might be a close game for a little bit, but it'll only take a couple of drives, and I think you might see the bad version of Bryce Young without Dewey and Coker, who were his two top receivers by yardage. The drop-off was just devastating without them. And Ted McMillan's a contested catch guy, so there's no guarantees that he's a difference maker right off the bat for this team. And I think the Jags also have the advantage of what are they going to do with Hunter? What special teams they've been creative. So just a lot of small edges as well. And they're at home. Give me Jacksonville -3.5. I have this at about 5 now with all the developments for the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers not healthy. You have the Liam Cohen effect, the defensive scheme bump. They're going to play a scheme that's much better fit to their personnel. They did improve, I think, in their secondary. I'm curious to how they have like 2 slot guys, but I could with Jones and Lewis. So I'm curious. And then you have Hunter. How's he going to go into the mix? But I think they're more talented. The scheme will be better. Liam Cohen on offense. Their offense was allergic to innovation last year and motion and play action. It'll be much better. I think Lawrence is going to benefit from the Cohen bump. And then, yeah, you mentioned these injuries on the Panthers. Their D's still going to be really bad. I thought about the over in this game because I was a little worried. The Jags are probably going to go from fast to slow. And the Panthers aren't fast. Worries me a bit. Panthers probably just try to take away the explosive play here. But I think the Jags are going to get their points. I'm starting to think about a Jags team total over 25.5. What do you think about that?
I have it at 23.5. So that was another one we got early. We really talked through some good stuff.
Well, I didn't bet it early, so
I would 25.5. I would just bet both. Then I would still want the spread just to kind of hedge my bets, because I think there's a situation where there is some weather. I think there's a situation where the Panthers could just implode offensively. And like you said, Trevor Lawrence, they want him to have 2 plays every time he goes to the line of scrimmage. So if they get up and the Panthers just look, just listless, I mean, they're just going to hand it off to Quinn Allen, right? Yeah. So, fair. I would kind of go half and half if you do it that way, just because 25.5 is it's a high number. I expect the Jags to get there a lot this year. But so don't hate it. But I would also just want the edge of them potentially blowing out the Panthers, which I think they very well might.
We'll talk about the kickoff rules in our total segment, our favorite totals. But for my third pick and the final of the Week 1 2025 Sunday 6-pack, I am going with the Tennessee Titans +9, baby. You can get a 9 out there. Not that it matters for the contest. We'll say 8.5. It's fine. You're going to give me over a touchdown in Week 1 of the NFL. I'm going to hit it more times than not. And I think the Titans are significantly improved. Offensive line, much better. Bringing a left tackle allows Latham to move to right tackle, more natural fit. Bringing a really good guard. Second year of a good offensive line coach. Last year was a disaster. Quarterback last year, an absolute calamity. Well, now you have the number 1 overall pick. All he has to do is not just toss the ball to the other team, and it's an improvement. So I think the offense should be more functional. Just won't be completely dysfunctional. The defense has some pieces. We'll see if Snead can actually, looks like he's going to play. Can he give them number 1 corner reps? Can he get back to his old form? If he does, I like their corner group. They have some good pieces up front. And their defense wasn't terrible last year, even though they got no help from anything. And then their special teams last year were one of the worst of all time. History of the NFL. I didn't love the pieces they brought in, but they overhauled the whole unit. So they just won't be a disaster. They can't be worse than last year. So there's a lot of things that are pointing up. It's not the best spot in the world. Like if a rookie quarterback making his first start, rookie quarterbacks on the road in Week 1 are 8-21 straight up. About 500 against the spread, though. I don't need them to win this game. I just need them to cover 8.5 with a very low total. And by the way, dogs, low totals early in the season, total of under 41.5 or below. What's this total sitting at right now?
42.5.
42.5. Let me change it to 43. No, I honestly, I had that for the Jets game. Let me pull 43. Yeah, dogs low total first 8 weeks, 58% under when the total's under 43. So if you're asking the Broncos to win by 2 possessions here in a game with a super low total, I get it. They're going to altitude, going to Denver. It's not an easy place to play against a really hard defense, but we don't know the Denver defense is going to be lead again. I've mentioned this in our preseason pods. Denver was one of the 25 best EPA defenses over the past 10 years. The past 24, only one improved on their EPA numbers. The average drop in rankings in EPA was 8.5. Last year, we thought the Browns and the Jets were going to be elite on defense. Look how we're talking about the Browns and Jets defense now. We're like, well, maybe we think they're going to be good. That's in 1 year because the secondary underperformed, and then there's injuries, and the Denver was extremely healthy last year. So I think this line's too high. It's my biggest edge numbers wise on the board. You're going to give me 8.5, 9 with the Titans, even with a rookie quarterback making his first start. I'm taking it. New year, new me, same bets. Titans.
Gotta be more responsible, bro. You gotta be more responsible. I thought you were gonna go on. I thought you were just gonna hammer the Cardinals as a road favorite. Honestly, I'm actually surprised. I would have lost the bet that you ended up going to Titans. But yeah, it's a big number, and the number keeps getting away too. It was in the sevens, and now it's 9. So I get it, but I just can't. I don't see anything about the Broncos outside of just saying, okay, there could be potential regression for regression's sake, but they improved the roster. They got guys working the preseason. People were, they had a hard cut down day because their roster was very good. They got a good coach.
It wasn't an elite team last year, though. People think this is an elite team. They won their 10th game. And by the way, they beat one playoff team all year. They won their 10th game because the Chiefs rested everyone. Like, Chiefs play everyone that game. They probably finished 9-8. They don't even make the playoffs. No one's talking about Denver how we're talking about them now. They get drilled in the playoffs anyway. Like, this wasn't some super powered team. Like, it's crazy. Everyone's picking Broncos to win the division. It's insane to me. Like, this is a team that had everything work out for them. Their defense was great. Their offensive line was great. They had no injuries. They had great game scripts for Knicks. But anytime they played a team with a pulse, they went 1-6 against playoff teams. Their one win was against the Tampa team we just trashed. So, I don't think that this team is in a different planet than the Titans, where they should be expected to win by 10 plus. Because I think the Titans are significantly improved. So, putting my money where my mouth is, I'm on the Broncos win total under, Titans win total over. So it's not a surprise I'm showing value here. Give me the Titans.
Titans might not have a pulse. I'm curious. Like, I'm just saying, there is a chance they don't have. I mean, the Broncos, yes, they 9 games if you take out that last week, the week 18 win, but the Broncos went over their season win total by more wins. Even if you take out that win in week 18, they went over their season win total by more wins than the Titans got last year. So the Titans could just be Sleepy Joe Biden, 2 years straight, just just sweeping through everything. Like, yeah, I'm curious. I hope they're better. I hope for your sake, but I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold yet.
Right. We'll see.
We got to see. But that was our week 1 Sunday 6-pack. Didn't disappoint. Recap. Let's see. We got some Russell Wilson, some Joe Flacco, Michael Penix, some Cam Ward, and who did I leave out?
I have Cam Ward, Joe Flacco, and Jordan Love.
I got Russ, Penix, and Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, that could be there's a world in which those are like the 6 worst quarterbacks in the NFL. But this is what we do. Sunday 6-pack, week 1. Now it's time for our week 1 coaches pep talk, and the first coaches pep talk of the season. Surprise! It's once again from Coach Pete Bell and one of our producer Matt Mitchell's favorite movies, pretty much the only movie he knows apparently, the 1994 classic film Blue Chips. And we're going to dedicate this. Let's dedicate it to Pete Carroll, man. I kind of feel like it's Raider teams, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly. I don't know, man. I'm kind of curious to see how this goes, but going up against Vrabel in week 1, that should be really interesting. So give it to Pete and Chip this week, the old heads. That is our coach's pep talk for week one. You know, football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. You just pick whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yardage, interceptions, and more. You can play with as little as $1 and get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I really like Underdog. They have a wide variety of picks to make, and what I'm looking at is this Monday night game. I think you're going to see a lot of running the football here. Two younger quarterbacks that are going to take some time in these new offenses for them. So I like Jordan Mason higher. I think you're going to see more of him than you expect in that Minnesota Viking offense early in the year, especially with Aaron Jones as more of kind of a dual threat pass catching option out of the backfield. So that Jordan Mason higher than 38.5 rushing yards has caught my eye on Monday Night Football for week one. You can download the Underdog app today and sign up with promo code Action Network to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Action Network, ACTION NETWORK. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. That's 1-877-8-HOPENY, or text HOPE-NY 467-369. All right. Favorite total? Stuck. You're up. What you got?
All right, for my favorite week one total, I'm going with the Patriots Raiders over 43.5. Think this is a bit too low. Number one, have you seen the Raiders secondary? We like
What secondary?
It is as bad as it can get on paper from safe. I mean, like I won't go into the players, but
they have one player on defense. They have one. His name is
Max Crosby. There's nothing else Graham can really do. But I mean, you're talking about a rookie corner on the outside who just started playing corner 1 year ago. Stokes, the Green Bay cast-off, who's terrible. Holmes, who's terrible in the slot. Polo Mal, he probably wouldn't start for most teams at safety. Chin, like, it is bad. Their linebackers, just a bunch of vets, can't cover. Like, it's really bad. And the Patriots' offensive line should be improved. Patriots' offense should be improved. There's better weapons around. And by the way, there's a lot of familiarity here. Graham just wants to take away the explosive play. I don't think that's going to hurt too much against McDaniels. They were on the same staff together. There's a lot of familiarity, which is interesting. But I think that Drake May should be able to cook here. You're going to see a lot of gap scheme runs. You're going to see a lot of play action, some boot action. They should be able to move the ball. On the other side, we both like this Raiders offense. Bring in Geno Smith. That's an upgrade at quarterback. Ashton Genty, draft him. He should have some semblance of a running game. And on the Patriots, they blew up their safeties the week before the season. Christian Gonzalez, they're one of the best corners in the NFL, likely to be out here. Still TBD, but I think he's going to miss. That's big. Who's covering Bowers? I don't know. And
Vrabel.
Like, it's so I think that the Raiders got to move the ball. Speaking of totals, that's why I like the over here. I wanted to find some overs early in the season because there's new rules. So the only other total I played so far thinking about the Jags team total over and the Jags Panthers over. I did play the Colts Dolphins under.
Yes. Oh, under.
Yeah.
Under? Over, not
Yeah.
over? Huh.
Yeah. You like the over?
Yeah.
I played the under. I was just gonna say I might not keep it. I might not keep it, but my reasoning there
Okay.
is just Daniel Jones. Can he really exploit the Miami secondary? Is awful. Not really
Yes.
sure. I'm not really sure. I don't trust Daniel Jones to throw it downfield. I think
Didn't
both
have to.
lines in that game could dominate the opposing offensive lines. The Miami offense doesn't scare anybody anymore. And they're Hill and A-Chain are coming back from injury. Like that offense is that they don't scare me. But it's indoors, and then you have these new kickoff rules.
Yeah.
So the other
35
unders
yard
I was
line.
thinking about are Rams Texans because you have Stafford in his back. Is Alaric Jackson, their left tackle, going to go? And then the Texans with their offensive line, the Rams defensive line, by the way, first in NFL history last year to have their top 4 sack guys be first or second year players. Their defensive front could just blow this all up for the Texans, and it could be rusty early for the Rams. 2 McVay guys coordinating the offenses for what it's worth. And so I was looking at the under there, and then 49ers Seahawks. Like, where's the explosiveness coming from? It's going to be a ton of running in that game. I might look live under there after I see some of these games play out, and then like Shanahan's script, the Seahawks, I think are going to have a good script. If you get scores early there, like the 49ers weapons are all hurt, and there's just going to be a ton of running in that game. So those are the unders. But the kickoff rule I wanted to pose to you is, so for those not familiar, that you're going to have players that the kickoff team, they're going to be static on the 40. And teams have crafted their roster differently because of this. Like you're keeping an extra linebacker, tight end, and guys who are more valuable on these kickoff plays. And then if there's a touchback, it comes out to the 35 instead of the 30. So my thinking is, okay, field position is probably going to get better. There's probably going to be more explosive plays too. Adds a little bit more variance. The field position was already up last year, to like the 29 on average. But in preseason, it wasn't materially different. But I don't think teams are putting their best guys out there. They probably weren't putting their best plays as far as returns. So what did you do? And then you have the kickoff ball rule. Like kickers can prep their balls. That sounded weird. They can prep their game balls before they're kicking balls. So you might get longer field goals.
Justin Tucker says, "What's up?"
Yeah. And I mean, we saw a 70-yarder in preseason. So what are you doing with field position and totals earlier? Are you monitoring it? So I'm trying to be wary of unders early.
Yeah, I do think the NFL is trying to get to 23 points per game again. They've been. I think last year they got to 22-9. So I think they're trying to get back to that 23-5 range. That seems what they're doing. And I do think I think it might get there. But you're talking about, I think, a half point. So it's not materially changing the angles. Because if I'm betting a total, I'm usually.
But there could be more variance though, like with.
Yeah, I think we started seeing that last year because what's happening is, like you said, field position improved last year because of similar rule. Now it's going to be even more supercharged. So no one wants that touchback. So you're going to get these kickoffs, but you're keeping running backs. We already saw, Henderson take advantage and whatnot. So you're getting better players returning kicks than I think we've had in a while too. But also the NFL last year, I believe it was a record year for field goal attempts. So it's like
and teams are like 70-something% from beyond 50.
Yeah, so you got these situations now where teams are kickers' legs are getting stronger and more accurate from distance, and it's one of those situations where if there is a touchback for whatever reason, you need like one or two plays and one play really, and you're in field goal range. So
That's so fascinating to watch, and it could be their hidden edge. Like we're low on the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
And Cowboys, like they use Parsons now. What's the trickle down effect? You don't have to pay attention that Parsons is already bad defense, and a defense that has bad linebackers. In linebackers, you need linebackers in an Eberflus defense. But you're going to have the combination of Turpin returning, or like a touchback to the 35, and then Aubrey. Like there's going to be drives where you don't even need a first down, and you're in field goal range. So that could be like the Cowboys might be one of the biggest benefactors from it.
Jaguars, bro. Like you're gonna have like some
Yeah.
Tootin or Parker, like all these guys that they have a bunch of guys that can return.
Who's going to
well.
return for them? Washington, probably.
I think Washington. I wouldn't be surprised if Tootin's back there at times. I think Allen could do it. Bigsby is another one. So they'll have guys back there, and then they can essentially just line up from there. You just kick. So it is going to change things, but I do think
it also change things as far as comebacks.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a
new onside now.
But
new overtime. Both teams touch the ball, and new onside rule. You could do an onside anytime as long as you're losing.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to lose an under to that at some point. The two teams get the ball, but yeah, like as far as like comebacks, like if you're kicking it off late, like I don't know, it might be easier for the team to get into field goal range. So I'm curious to watch it. But where's your we'll keep everyone updated on the field position and some of the total numbers as we get more data, because I don't think there's a ton you can take from the preseason, because like teams just aren't going to put their best guys and their best returns, and teams are experimenting. So I would imagine, like, I don't know, I'm projecting like a yard better. Like we're probably gonna be around a 30 now average.
Maybe even more. It might be a little more, yeah. Because the thing is, you are going to get some touchbacks by accident. You're going to get some of those just like kickers screwing it up. But no one's going to want to take that touchback, so you're going to get returns, and it might be worth more than a yard. Like I think the NFL is looking at it from a point perspective. Honestly, like I think they're just trying to get, because if there was a time when the NFL was in that, the 23-5, 24 points per game, it's been like 21, 22 the last few years. Almost got to 23 last year, so I think they're hoping it's worth a little more than just a yard. But with that combined with kickers and just offenses in general, there's less turnovers too. Like interceptions rate was down last year. That could continue. So yeah, a lot of things I think probably push scoring up by like I'm guessing about a half point. But total wise, I still think it's not going to make a big difference for how I'm approaching things, because I'm still looking for more than a half point edge on total. So this week, thought about the Chiefs Chargers, but that's I gotta look a little more into that. I know it's in Brazil and
field. You gotta worry about the field
condition. That's what I gotta look more into.
Harbaugh talked about it this week. Last year, the defense couldn't get any. It's like an ice
exactly.
Ice skate.
Yeah,
couldn't get any footing. So
I still think we're getting a little hyped with it's the same Patrick Mahomes as last year now. Right? It's like
there's no Rice.
Yeah, so
two young kids at the left side of the offensive line, so we don't know if that's solved. And then the Chargers,
I don't know what they're doing.
They still have weapons, and then they lost their tackle. You got to move Ald over now, and then you have a bad right tackle.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about, and it's going up. So I might be able to get it at a discount, even with factoring in the field. Like it might get to 47. I would definitely put it there. Thought about the. I'm playing the Monday night one, but that's not up for this pod. So the one I'm going with is good old reliable Mike Tomlin, week 1 under at New York. 38.5 is the number. So 3 things here. Number 1, you have Aaron Rodgers going against one of the most blitz happy coaches in Aaron Glenn. Yeah, he's number 2 in blitz rate. He's going to bring that same aggressiveness to the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers was second worst in yards per attempt against the blitz. He was second worst in average after target versus the blitz. And he was second worst in time to throw. He just is going to get the ball out. That's why they went out and got Jonnu Smith and these guys. So it's just going to be a dink and dunk show, in my opinion, with Rodgers. That's what we're seeing. It's not efficient. 5.5 yards per attempt. He's progressively gotten worse as he's gotten older against the blitz. And then
they're going to be slow too. They're going to be slow.
Yeah, they're going to be slow. And then you look at the other side of the ball, and the Jets' self-stated goal, and I'm not kidding, like their coordinator and quarterback both come out and say, yeah, we're just happy to take 8-yard passes. That's what you got to aim for when you got Justin Fields at quarterback. And I might not get that because you could just kind of stack the box. There's familiarity here because Fields was on the Steelers last year and Rodgers was on the Jets. So there's just going to not be much ball movement going on. I think there's going to be a lot of running back involvement. I don't think there's going to be much that gets over the top. And Fields, that's one thing I feel like he used to be better at. He was one of those quarterbacks. Yeah, he would hold the ball too long, but he would let it rip downfield. Jets don't really have those kind of weapons. Maybe A. Ryan Smith eventually, but not in week one. And he's not doing it in camp either. So it's, they're really just leaning into long drives, tire the defense out, physical. And then Aaron Rodgers is on the wrong side of 40 and just has to play hot potato with the ball. Remember Peyton Manning when he was on his last legs and after that neck when he just had to get rid of the ball. Tom Brady, it was either, get rid of the ball or go down and take a sack. That's why he led the league in attempts at like age 45. So this is what you're getting here. So it's under 40, not scared about it, not scared about the kickoff rules. And then both of these teams, they got like 3 guys that they can legitimately involve in the backfield. So they're going to be run centric. The Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the better defenses in the league. Jets should be better. There's just nothing pointing towards scoring in this game unless the defenses are doing it. Tomlin wrote under 58, 31-1, 65% since 2014, covering by an average of 2.6 points per game, 27% ROI if you bet all 90 of them over that span. So give me Jets, Steelers. This is a game that could legitimately end under 30. Yeah. And we see it last year. We saw it last year. Oswald starting slow.
Oswald could be a weapon this year. He was last year. We'll see if he can. He is hitting that age though, where you might like the Tucker hit that age, and we'll see if Oswald. He was unbelievable last year. So yeah,
Pittsburgh has massage bars on par with
Baltimore. We'll no comment. So I'm going with the Patriots Raiders over 43.5. You're going with Jets Steelers under 30.5. Give me your 10-second spiel on why you like the Dolphins over.
Oh, so
I might get out.
I just think their secondary is terrible. It's indoors. The Dolphins are kind of faking that whole. I feel like they're healthier than they were letting on, and like it's bad vibes, but like at the end of the day, like if Daniel Jones is going to score on that defense, but I also feel like Tua's not losing to Daniel Jones. It's not with a healthy H-N, Tyreek, and Waddle. So I just think they're going to go back and forth. And there's points are going to be scored. I like the Colts off. This is the best offense Daniel Jones ever had. The best. It might even be the best line he's had, which is pitiful.
I think both defensive lines could dominate, though.
They could, but at the end, you're still going to have. I think you're going to have splash plays, is what I'm saying. So,
Miami doesn't have splash plays play, and then also the Colts defense. I'm accounting for a huge bump because there's no more Gus Bradley. That's another reason I like the under. Like schematically,
fair.
Everyone's figured out the Dolphins' offense. Like they're still gonna be good, but they're not like explosive anymore. And Tyreek's not explosive anymore.
Remember, they have a culture change. That's why they went out and got Darren Waller and got this coach.
Is Waller even gonna play? He's probably not gonna play.
No, it's a joke. I just think this is the game where. I don't see many stops. Like this defense everything's just average about. I think these defenses, except
both front sevens are decent.
Yeah, but
like the Colts defensive line is good. The Dolphins defensive front is good.
Okay, but you got Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. Like they're gonna break runs, and then for the Dolphins, H-N is fast. Ollie Gordon's look great. Hill is healthier than they were letting on. Waddle's still there. Like I just think it's gonna be enough. But I understand. I think long term, you're correct. I think the Colts defense will be better, and I think the Dolphins have a better defense and a decent scheme too. But week one, offensive coaches, I think we'll see points. All right. So we're gonna do money line underdog, and then we're gonna do anytime touchdown parlay. And then we'll get out of here with Survivor. So let's start it with money line dog. Where you going, Stuck?
Let's go Falcons. Already talked about it.
I'll go Ravens. They barely an underdog now. It's I think they're like minus 109 technically. So let's see. What are the Falcons? About plus 130. So it's not going to be a juicy one, but I do like the Ravens against the Bills. Lamar Jackson 12-3 against the spread, 9-6 straight up. He's won 60% of his games when he's an underdog. I think the Ravens are their better team. The only reason the Bills are favored, or maybe were favored, is because they are at home. But the Bills still have questions at linebacker, still have questions at safety, and have questions at quarterback now too. So you're talking about a quarterback who came off 41-4 and maybe still getting better in terms of the touchdown interception rate. Ravens generally healthy outside of Likely, which if this was balls to the wall, only like kind of linebacker issues for the Bills, I'd say maybe it's more important. But like now the corner situation, like you still got Andrews. I think Zay Flowers is going to be a lot more productive than he was previously against the Bills. Lamar is just excellent. They've been chomping at the bit to avenge the loss. I think the Ravens come out hot, and it's like a beatdown, maybe a beatdown similar to what we saw in the regular season matchup. So love them if you can get them as a dog. So that's what I'm rolling. Any thoughts on them? Because I know that's your squad.
Yeah, I mean Harbaugh elite with extra rest, and especially week one, he's the most profitable coach in the league, 12-5 against the spread. Week one, Lamar 19-3 regular season against the spread on road turf. I mean, I make this like around a coin flip. If I had a pick, I think the Ravens do win, and they do get their revenge. They're the more complete team right now, but it's Josh Allen at home with the Bills. They don't really lose at home. They've lost twice over the last 3 years. So I make it a coin flip. I think the Ravens are going to win. It's a huge game for the 1 seed, but I'll probably like if the Ravens go down early, like on the first drive, Allen goes, I'll be betting the Ravens live. That's my angle there.
I think the Ravens are better everywhere, like everywhere. Like Josh Allen doesn't lose at home, but like what of the Bills is better than the Ravens right now? Like the defense is in shambles. The Ravens got the better running back. Jackson had a better season than Allen, regardless of who won the MVP. The Bills are still messing around with all these wide receivers that aren't really as good as Stephon Diggs, or Zay Flowers, or Mark Andrews. Like I can't really find an edge for the Buffalo Bills outside of track record. Like they might win every game after this, but I think the Ravens big edge here.
I mean, I had the Ravens power rate higher, but I just make this around a coin flip. Like
it's scary. Again, it's they don't lose much, but
like if remember you said I would have hammered it, but I might get around to there. I think the Ravens win. Like I'm pretty good at reading when they win and lose. I think they win. But I might get there, but it's week one. I might throw some darts on her and I'll look for it live. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, so we're going Falcons, Ravens. Started out light.
Yeah, all right. Let's jump into the let me see. The odds for that would be all right, yeah, so about plus 340 if you parlay this together. So still not bad. Feel pretty good about both of those spots. Let's go to a new segment. We're gonna do instead of teasers, because teasers are kind of going up in value. A lot of the value has kind of been taken out. The books are raising prices on those. So let's go to our good old reliable anytime touchdowns. We know people love those. We love them as well. Stuck. You'll drop one. I'll drop one. We'll parlay them together. Who you got?
I already mentioned Fannin. And yeah, teasers, all the prices are going up. You can still find minus 120s out there. You got to search. I'll drop like a 5-second hint every show on what I do like. This week, probably Jets, Bears. But yeah, have some fun with anytime touchdowns. I don't price these, so it's more vibes, matchups. Mentioned that, but I'm going with Mark Andrews. Vibes play. Good matchup. What happened last year to end the season? His fumble was devastating. You know that they have something drawn up for him early to get him in the end zone, to kind of shake those demons, get the vibes going for this year. So like 2-1 on Andrews to score.
Yeah.
Vibes in matchup. And
it's actually one of because the touchdown market, you got to be careful because there's no bet for most of these. So sometimes the prices can be even more inflated than your standard, your normal 15% VIG. But in this case, I project a little bit of value on Andrews here. And Kerner and I were just talking about how Andrews, I think, has the highest touchdown projection of any tight end for us this year. So like it. And I am going to go with and Andrews, by the way, is plus. You could get a plus 210 out there. But
where's that at? I'm going to bet that.
That is at DK.
Okay.
So, and what I will say though, because we get asked this question a lot, touchdown markets and the markets like this where you're going long shot, you get into the 2-1s or more. I'm personally not price sensitive, not very price sensitive. I wouldn't recommend being as price sensitive because it's one of those markets where it's not like you're making a whole bunch of bets on no anyway. So you just have to take the values where you can find it. And I think you're going to have more success if it goes down 10, 20 cents, like it sucks, but I wouldn't just like fade it if you're talking long shots. That's how I approach it. That's how I've had success. So that's just, because some people think, okay, if we give out 210, 205, no go. I would still, there's a wider net for me in these because they're already kind of not priced as they're already kind of priced pretty fairly, I would say. So, but Trevor Lawrence for me, and the reason being is I have come upon some intel that the Jags may be using a tush push or whatever their version of a tush push is this year, and we know Trevor Lawrence has the size to do it, and they have had the backs. They have a whole bunch of backs on the roster, but two guys are rookies, Tootin and Allen. So do you have confidence to hand it to them in week one at the goal line? And then your lead back, what we think, Travis Etienne, has had fumbling issues on the goal line. And then Tank Bigsby is the other guy, but his role is kind of, I think, the most up in the air. I don't know if he got the start in that last or in that second preseason game because they were trying to showcase him for a trade, or he jumped Etienne, or what's going on. I could see him being a scratch even. Like it's just a wide range of outcomes. So Trevor Lawrence, if you can just tush push it in, and I think you're going to get opportunities against this Panthers defense, which was again the worst defense by DVOA last year of all the defenses in the NFL. I think Lawrence may get to the end zone, may even do it twice in a game like this. So give me Trevor Lawrence at plus 450 for an anytime. That would be a rushing score.
I like it.
All right, let's see what the parlay odds. Andrews plus 210, Lawrence plus 450, 16-1. Plus 1605 to be exact. So that's a nice juicy one. Again, Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. Plus 210, Trevor Lawrence plus 450. All right, let's get out of here with a survivor pick. Where would you go week one?
Well, I'm doing it from the perspective of a larger pool. So got to be a little bit more risky. And I'm going with the Cardinals. How many times more times am I going to use them? Probably not many. Like the Broncos, probably more chances. They're one of the bigger favorites. The Eagles, I'm probably going to use them later in the year. So I'm going to take a risk with the Cardinals. It's Spencer Rattler. And I like this Cardinals team. I like their defense. I like their staff. I think they're going to be ready. Talked about the home field dwindling for the Saints. I'm not as scared. So give me Arizona.
Interesting take on this. I think Arizona has some like I think they could start hot. I actually think I might be interested in choosing them next week against the Carolina Panthers at home, and just a road game kind of scares me. Offensive coach. So I mean, maybe Rattler is this version of him is better. They actually scare me a little bit just because of all those kind of unknowns and being on the road.
NFL, every team's scary.
Yeah,
but,
it doesn't scare me. No, it doesn't scare me.
And
I'm not even going Broncos. I'm not going Broncos. Even that, I will admit, Titans again scares me. It doesn't scare me. The Cowboys. Give me the Eagles. We're down on them this year. No one ever wins the NFC East twice in a row. Eagles, great roster, but we're already seeing, there was an exodus. But they're probably as healthy as they're going to be, offensively. And the Cowboys, like Brian Schottenheimer came out and said he didn't even know that they were like really going to end up trading Micah Parsons. They're scrambling here. I know they got something in return, but I like this matchup for the Eagles. I don't like their season-long prospects, so I don't want to wait, for like, I'll use them against the Giants late in the year, and then it's like the Giants are just humming with Jackson Dart and an elite defense, and the Eagles are like, injured and this like fringe, going back to like that year when they started hot and then just fell off a cliff. So I actually like using the Eagles early this year, so that's my angle on Survivor. I think the Eagles are actually a sharp play here because I don't want to save this year. So Eagles for me. All right. Cardinals, Eagles, Survivor. That's it. Week one. Action Network Podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find Stuck on X at Stuckey2. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the free award winning Action Network app. You can check out Stuck Talking College Football over on Big Bets on Campus Pod. Great pod. Be sure to check that out. And be sure to check out the Action playbook as well if you are interested in getting some artificial intelligence to create your bet slips. That is a must. Follow us on X. You'll understand more if you don't already. And Kurt and I talking fantasy, DFS player projections, all that good stuff. We're on the Fantasy Flex podcast if you're interested in that. But otherwise, until next week, good luck. Get this money.
Let go.